miles an hour. Partly sunny, the forecast. Dave Meggett and Mark Ingram back deep for the Giants. Kevin Butler will kick it off. Over Meggett's head and out of the end zone. Jeff Hostetler will start once again at quarterback for the Giants. In front of him, the offensive line will have Bart Oates at center. Roberts and Moore. The two guards, Elliott and Riesenberg. The two tackles, and Howard Cross at tight end. The backs, at least they're supposed to start. Anderson and Carthon, the runners. Ingram and Baker wide. It's Meggett and Hampton who start. And this is Hampton's carry. Coming off a shoulder injury, gets out to about the 25. Stopped by William Perry and Mike Singletary. Four-man front for the Bears. Armstrong, McMichael, Perry, and Dent. The linebackers, Roper, Singletary, and Rivera. Secondary, Mangum starts at the left cornerback. Wolford to the right. And now it's Hampton and Maurice Carthon, the two runners. Hampton in motion. To Maurice Carthon. Should be enough for a first down. Stopped by Rivera and Dent. 6-yard gain.
Well, when we were talking to the Giants last night, that was one of the things that they wanted to do, was mix up their packages. They're going to have a big package for Hampton. They're going to have one that involves Hampton with Carthon, one that involves Hampton with Meggett, and Meggett with Carthon, and Meggett. I mean, it's going to be a whole bunch of different combinations so the Bears can't get set.
1st and 10. Giants first possession. Odessa Turner split wide to the right, out of your picture. Flag on the play as Hampton breaks into the Bears secondary. It's going to be against the Giants, however. Dick Hantak.
Prior to the snap, offense, number 60, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Number 60 is Eric Moore right here, the right guard. And you'll see him. One of the things the Giants want to do is change the snap count. But when you change the snap count, then that's one of the problems you have. The linemen don't all get off together all the time, especially early in the game.
1st and 15. Meggett is split wide to the left this time. Ingram and Baker to the right. Ingram is the man on the move. Hostetler dumps it out to Hampton. A yard perhaps by Dent and Rivera.
There's an anxious group over there, that Bear offense waiting to get in there to get the ball and field position. You know, these two teams are kind of possession type teams, good defenses. You know, Richard Dent looking for a big day, putting pressure on Hostetler. But field position, when you have these types of teams, is one of the most important parts of the game.
2nd and 14. Hostetler faked the draw. Ingram had a first down. He might have lost it when he cut back.
Oh, was that a bad move on that part? Once you get that first down and you're running it in, I think they're going to give it to him anyway.
Yep.
But you want to make something happen, and you want to break a big play, but you want to break it towards the goal line. Now watch what Ingram does here. Catches the end, runs a good pattern, and then right there, you see when he dips back, he almost loses his first down. But that's one of the things that Hostetler was talking about last night. He says, we got to get the ball outside to our wide receivers.
The two tight ends for the Giants, a familiar formation to the right. The handoff is to Hampton. Not much. Trace Armstrong was the first man to hit him. Ron Cox and Dante Jones.
I think the Giants have a real good mixture here early, Pat. Last week, they got in where they'd kind of run on first down, run on second down, then get 3rd and long and have to pass and not pick it up. And here early they have very good mixture.
Someone asked if Ray Hanley was superstitious. I notice a difference in wardrobe.
Head coaching brings the superstitions out of all of us.
Ditka still has his unusual bear shirt on. I guess that's a good word. That's Rodney Hampton. He's close to another first down. Stopped by Richard Dent.
I don't know that Ditka was expecting this much of Rodney Hampton. You know, one thing, you prepare by the game films. Now, Rodney Hampton didn't play in the first 2 games, so he didn't see him on film. He didn't see him in the playoff game that they played last year because Hampton was hurt then.
He got hurt on the second play.
So Ditka's saying, who is this guy number 27? We haven't seen him.
They got a measure. Just moved across midfield into Bear territory. It's one of those measurements.
Ray Hanley, we can see so far today, he's run the ball 3 times and passed the ball 3 times. And if the Giants hold true to form in this situation, this is usually where they bring Otis Anderson in and give him the ball behind a Carthon lead.
That's the package.
Carthon leads and O.J. follows.
That time it was Carthon.
That's not a bad thing because they're expecting Carthon to be the leader, and they just handed it to the lead blocker. Let O.J. run in behind him.
He got 4 yards.
See, they're expecting right there. They're going to meet Carthon up there as a blocker. They're watching O.J., and they loosen up just enough for the next hole out to let Carthon run in the next hole in.
First down at the Bear 46. It's Anderson behind Carthon. O.J. breaks a couple and lunges, as we've seen him do so often, for about an extra couple of yards. He got 3 altogether. Cox made the stop.
Again, I like the way the Giants are changing things today, Pat. Not only in plays and mixing up runs and passes, throwing to the outside receivers, but in different packages of backs. I think that last week Ray Hanley probably agreed with everyone that the Giants offense was too conservative. And I think this week he's going to do something about it.
Well, the Rams were saying all we did was say, where is Meggett? Is he in the game? Otherwise it was run. Anderson by McMichael. Picked up 2.
You know, that is one thing they have to watch out for. Like the Rams said last week, if they had Meggett in there, we would scheme pass. If they had Anderson and Carthon in there, we would scheme run.
Hampton comes back with a play for Jeff Hostetler. 6 rushes, 3 passes so far on what has been a very effective drive.
And Meggett's in there also. So in this package, we're going to see 3 wide receivers and the 2 backs in there, Hampton and Meggett.
Hostetler back in the shotgun. And Hostetler will take off and not get the first down. McMichael tripped him up after a gain of 2. Roper put the pressure on Hostetler and forced him out of there.
And if Roper didn't put the pressure on him to force him out of there, I think he had some things open. Looked like Meggett was running that scat pattern, and he would have been open. Hostetler couldn't wait for him.
Landetta back to punt. Johnny Bailey back for the Bears. This to Ray Hanley. Of course, he'd like to take the ball and go 80 yards, but this is still an effective drive. An efficient drive, I believe, is what he said. Landetta to Bailey at the 7. Scrambled out to about the 14. The Bears take over. Steve Diassi down to make the stop. 30-yard punt. No score. Giants and the Bears at Soldier Field. Jim Harbaugh, the Bear quarterback. Sellout crowd. That'll be the offensive line in front of Harbaugh. The rookie Stan Thomas, Bortz, Hilgenberg, Thayer, Van Horn, and the tight end is James Thornton. Neil Anderson and Brad Muster back. The two runners, Wendell Davis and Tom Waddle, starting at one of the wide receiver spots. They start. The Bears do with their first possession from their own 14. 7:27 left to play. First quarter, no score. Muster in motion. Harbaugh faked it to Anderson. Has Thornton. First down, Bears outside the 40. Stopped by Greg Jackson, but a pickup of 28. John, that's one of the things. The defense, first of all, for the Giants. Fox, Howard, Marshall up front. Linebackers, the familiar names of Banks, Reasons, Pepper Johnson, and Lawrence Taylor. Secondary also familiar now. Collins and Walls, the corners. Guyton and Jackson, the two safety men. One of the things the Bears said they had to do was throw the ball on first down.
Yeah, and they have to do it with play pass, because if they don't, the Giants will do the same thing. Then they'll just gang up on the run and Neil Anderson, and they won't have any offense.
This is Anderson in motion this time. Handoff Muster. He lunges for a gain of 3, stopped by Banks and Marshall.
Yeah, you were talking about earlier when the Giants got the ball that Ray Hanley says when you get the ball in the 20, the first thing you want to do is get it out to the 50. That's field position football. And so he has to be happy with that first drive. Now the Bears get the ball, then they want to get it beyond the 50. So you start thinking in terms of that, then you start thinking of field goal, then you start thinking of touchdown when you're these two teams. If you're someone like Buffalo, you think of touchdown every play, or Houston.
Davis was lined up as a tight end, split out a little bit now. This is Anderson in motion. Flag on the play. Meyer and Guyton knocked Harbaugh out of bounds.
And I think they're going to call Stan Thomas, the rookie tackle, who did a good job of blocking against Lawrence Taylor. He has his work cut out for him trying to block 56, and he's a rookie. I think he's a good rookie, and it looked like he did a good job of blocking him.
Offense, number 60, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down, second down.
You know, a guy like Taylor not only gets a lot of sacks and a lot of tackles, but he also gets a lot of penalties where guys do things to him where they get caught. Just watch it here. Here's Taylor out here. Here is Thomas. Now, this is a tough block for anyone because you got to step out and get him, not let him gain speed. He just runs him right around, and if he held him, it looked like he held him right at the end after Harbaugh had left.
Second and 17. Muster was the move man. He stays in to help block on Taylor. They screen to Anderson with a couple of blockers in front. Neil Anderson out of bounds in Giant territory, just barely across the 50. Knocked out of bounds by Guyton.
You know, Leonard Marshall was talking about Neil Anderson last night, and he made an interesting comment. He said that this guy is a tough guy when he has the ball in his hand. And, you know, that's a type of running that a guy has.
I was down the field a minute ago, John, talking to Neil Anderson. I said, how you feeling? He said, not bad for an old man. I said, you forgot who you're talking to.
Yeah. But he said, you know, this is his 6th year, and he said this is the first time that he's felt like an old man. He's one guy, he has enough confidence now to admit it, that does not run in the off-season. He said in the off-season, he does not run a step.
That's Muster, flag on the play.
Delay. Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Harbaugh's arguing. He's saying that he got the ball off, that he got the ball snapped. In fact, he had to change the snap count. He went on a quicker snap count trying to beat that clock.
You know, we were talking to Jim yesterday, and in past years, he didn't seem like a very confident athlete. Now he seems very sure of himself.
You know, I saw him in the first game. We did the first game against the Minnesota Vikings. It was the first time that I felt that he was a confident quarterback, and that happened like in the second half of that game.
3rd and 6.
Stan Thomas, rookie left tackle, forgot the snap count. He had to go back and ask the quarterback, what's it on?
That happens more than you'd think. Gentry was the man on the move. Harbaugh to Tom Waddle. And that's going to be close. Renee Thompson made the hit on Waddle.
That's going to be all in the spot. Waddle, the way he's shaking his head, looks like he thinks it's short. Mike Ditka has an early decision here. Look, Harbaugh's saying it's short. We only got this much. Do you go for it? I think in this type of game, with this time, you have to punt the ball.
But again, going back to what we were talking about before, I don't know if Ditka has the same philosophy that Hanley does, but this was an efficient drive.
It was an efficient drive, and I think if anything, he's upset at Waddle that he could have caught that ball and maybe just think of knowing where the stakes are and being able to duck for the first down, because all you needed was that much. And when you catch the ball and you always know where the first down marker is, you can always lean and pick up that extra yard.
Maury Buford back to punt. Meggett back deep for the Giants. Buford at one time with the Giants. A dandy. Takes a backward bounce, but out of bounds at about the 14-yard line, where the Giants will take over. 3:37 left in the first quarter, no score. Most dangerous passing offenses in the game today. It'll be the Bengals and the Redskins next Sunday on CBS.
Yeah, that was a pretty good drive for the Bears, because they have to think that they got the ball. Now the Giants have to start inside their 20, but the Bears also had 2 penalties on that drive. Harbaugh's still upset about that too much time. And then, of course, they had that 10-yard holding penalty on Stan Thomas against Lawrence Taylor.
1st and 10 on their own 13 for the Giants. Hostetler to Meggett. Hit in the backfield. Dante Jones.
Dante Jones was just in there first down just to play the run. See, he was the extra guy right there, right when they were running. They put him in there on that play for the first down run, knowing that the Giants have a tendency to run on first down. Then, boom, they just bring him right out. The Bear defense is great at playing your tendencies.
2nd and 8. And that speaks very well for their coaching staff. Meggett in motion. Hostetler pops it out to Hampton. Stopped by Singletary and Rivera. Redskins in front of Phoenix 7-0 first quarter, trying to stay unbeaten. Both teams are, as a matter of fact. Third and 5 coming up at Soldier Field in Chicago. Miami-Detroit 3-3. Don Shula going for his 300th career victory as a head coach.
And that is an amazing number.
That is startling. Only one man in front of him. That would be George Halas.
Hostetler had to get out of the shotgun. He couldn't hear.
Now he's out of the backfield. Morrissey made the stop on Hostetler. Picked up 6.
Yeah, and that's what Hostetler has to do more of, too, I think, is not always run. I'm not saying where he has to run all the time, but I think what he has to be able to do is move. Sometimes run. You see here, Oates is saying, look, we can't hear you. Come on up. So he comes up. It was going to be shotgun. He comes up, takes the ball in the T formation. But that's the way to loosen up the defense, by the quarterback running.
1st and 10 Giants at their own 24. Meggett scrambled at the line of scrimmage, led by Mangum. 1 yard.
That is not much fun, I think, when you're David Megan and you run a play and you get scrambled at the line of scrimmage. Someone has to get him back in the huddle and de-scramble him so he can run another play. This is a little guy starting for the first time. He's only about 170 pounds, Mangum, but he knows how to use that 170 pounds. He's a corner starting for Donnell Wolford. You expect that he's going to be picked upon today, but he's a good player.
The backfield package is Hampton and Megan. Hostetler throws it. Incomplete. And no flag. Stinson up to hit Megan.
The Mule Stinson was a corner playing on a zone, and he was just waiting out there for Meggett. He wasn't sure that that wasn't pass interference. You see him, before he celebrated, he turned around to look if there was a flag. Watch him here. You'll see, here's Stinson, you see. So he's going to hit here and then just stay out. This is his zone area. Now watch, as he hits out there, then Meggett is going to come right into the zone. See him hit? Now he lets him go, plays the zone. Here comes Meggett. Boom, he makes a hit right on the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 9. Ingram is the man in motion. The handoff is to Meggett. He's going to have the 9 and a lot more. Out to about the 48, a pickup of 24 yards from Meggett.
That's what they have to do. Put Meggett in there. Everyone thinks it's pass. This is what the Rams did to the Giants last week. Then they pull the guard. Boom, they get a little trap there, get a little block there, and then some good running in the hole by Meggett to get through. He made 4 guys miss in the hole, and he got the big first down.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score, the Bears nothing, the Giants nothing. Chicago, the Giants nothing, the Bears nothing. As we begin the second quarter, Pat Summerall with John Madden. Both teams playing just about like we expected and you would expect, I'm sure. Ball control, low scoring. No scoring, in fact. Giants had 5 first downs in the first quarter. The Bears had only 1. Hostetler fakes, back to throw, chased by McMichael and taken down by Trace Armstrong. But give McMichael most of the credit.
You know, most of the time, some player told me that Trace Armstrong, number 93, gets most of his sacks that way. McMichael, or in the old days, it used to be Dan Hampton. I mean, not in the old days, a couple years ago, would break through, boom, make the quarterback run, flush him out, and then Armstrong, it just goes out, and he's ready for the flush. You see, boom, here comes McMichael. Whap, there goes the flush, and see, he's flushed right into Armstrong. Armstrong always stays out there, and he's always ready for the right-handed flush, which you'll get a lot of when you play the Giants.
Very good point. Hostetler straight back this time and throws quickly, and the pass is picked off by Marcus Paul. And the Bears will have it at midfield.
Marcus Paul has to feel good about that one because he was the guy who missed the tackle in the hole against Dave Meggett on that 3rd down run.
So the Bears get the first turnover. No score in the second quarter, which has just begun. 0-0. The Bears just got an interception, and they take over at midfield. Giants have 59 yards rushing. The Bears have only 3. 1st and 10 at the 50. Harbaugh to Muster. Got about 8 yards. Stopped by Guyton.
Let's watch that interception again, Pat. We'll see what happens. Here's Marcus Paul. Now, when the motion comes here, that brings Paul up here. If they hadn't used motion, Paul wouldn't have even been there. But watch what happens when the motion comes. See the motion coming across. Now you see Paul walking up. Now you see the pattern here. Now right here, if we stop it, Hostetler thinks Paul is going to go out. He doesn't. He just stays there and picks off the ball. He anticipated something that didn't happen. You didn't see it.
On 2nd and 3, it's Anderson. First down, Bears at about the 38. 4-yard pickup. Redskins just got a touchdown from Ricky Sanders.
Wendell Davis, number 82, just came in and made a heck of a block on Greg Jackson. We're seeing more of that this year in the NFL, Pat, is the wide receivers coming in and cracking back. Remember the Monday night game? Ingram did it on a big run by Meggett. That time Wendell Davis did it.
Wonder why that is.
I don't know. Maybe they're getting bigger wide receivers. I mean, there was a while where wide receivers would refuse to do it.
More time in the weight room. Leonard Marshall with the heat on Harbaugh. Thornton comes down with it. And the ball came out to the Giants. Thornton had it, lost it to Everson Walls.
Here is a crafty old veteran, Everson Walls. Watch Thornton here. That was a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch right here. Muster was saying it came out before he went out of bounds, but there's no way, or the ball did go out of bounds. Let's see, the ball is out now. The ball is fumbled, and the question is, did he get it? You see, the Giants have to recover it. Last guy that had it was Thornton. Now the Giants have to get it before it goes out of bounds. I don't think they did. I don't think they had control of it.
I think we'll have another look at that one before we resume. No score between the Giants and the Bears, the opening minutes of the second quarter. Information that has just been made available to us, is that it was inconclusive as to whether or not Walls was out of bounds, and so they're going with the call on the field. So the Giants will take over.
There was a lot of good plays on that. Harbaugh made a good throw there with Leonard Marshall hanging on him. Guyton comes in, makes the tackle, knocks the ball out from Thornton. Then Everson Walls gets it. They say that this was inconclusive. You know, they didn't know if he had control of the ball before he went out and hit the line. See, I don't think he does. I think that his shoulder is on the line or out of bounds before. I think the Giants got a break right there.
I agree. 1st and 10 at the 9. Hawthorne and Hampton. Rodney Hampton. Flag on the play. Hampton got it all the way out to the 25, but there's a penalty marker down. A gain of 16 against the Giants.
I think they were holding Dante Jones. Remember, we saw number 53 for the Bears, Dante Jones. They put him in there to play that first down run. They ran right at Jones, and I think he was held because he sure went down awfully funny.
Dick Hantak, the referee, will tell us.
Holding. Offense. Number 87. Penalized half the distance to the goal line. Repeat first down.
That's Howard Cross. Now watch number 53 here, Dante Jones. You see when he comes out there, you see Cross on him? Now watch right there. He just, I don't know, he just spun. I didn't see a hold, but it was a funny looking thing. The officials saw the same thing. I don't think he was held.
I don't either. Anderson and Carthon as Hostetler is back in his own end zone. Going for a bunch, and the bunch is not there.
I think the Giants just want to show that when they get backed up, they will loosen that defense up. I think this is just one to say, hey, don't say that we never do it. He really had pretty good protection here. He had time to throw, but there was no one open downfield. They were just trying to loosen up the defense.
So it'll be 2nd and 15. 12:06 left to play in the first half. Baker wide to the left. Ingram on the other side. Hostetler to Anderson. Tripped up at about the 12, a gain of 3. Not much more.
You see the Fridge there? He was telling Anderson, hey, don't try that running at us. The one thing that the Fridge plays better than anyone is that cutback. If you run between the tackles, you are going to have a difficult time with William Perry, because there's no one better at playing that cutback. You can never get it against the Bears.
Third down and 12. Meggett Back in the backfield with Hostetler. Odessa Turner wide to the right. Megan again because of the noise. Hostetler rather has to move up under the center. Gets the ball to Megan. Just barely. David Tate made the stop. McMichael with an assist. A gain of 6. But it'll bring up 4th down.
I'll tell you, McMichael's fired up today, too. There's the guy who's hustling. He's the guy flushing out the quarterback. He's chasing the receiver, making tackles downfield. This first part of this game has been a Steve McMichael day.
Landetta standing in the end zone about a yard deep. Bailey back for the Bears. Line drive should be returned if it's handled, and it is. Bailey at about the 44. The coverage is good. Gary Reasons was the first man there. William Perry. He'll block out some daylight.
Yeah, and on that last punt, there's Renee Thompson on the Giants sideline trying to loosen up, and he wasn't in on that last punt coverage. And I've always thought that probably when you talk about guys that cover punts or special teams player, he's the best in football. We looked and saw that he wasn't on the punt coverage, so there has to be something wrong because he also plays the dime back, which is a defensive back in pass situations, and all the special teams.
Davis split wide right. Thornton, the tight end on the left. This is Anderson. Cut back inside of one tackler, got it back for maybe a yard, maybe not that much. Eric Howard out to make the stop.
They're Philadelphia. You know, I was talking to Randall Cunningham the other day, by the way, who says that he's feeling pretty good. You know, that the operation was successful, and he was telling me that he thinks that the Eagles are still going to be good. He said he just hopes they just give McMahon a chance and not over-evaluate everything that McMahon or the Eagles do.
Well, they have such a dominating defense led by Reggie White. They might change their philosophy a little bit, but they still have a lot of good people.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to just leave them alone, let them play.
Fake is to Muster. Harbaugh, spied out of 5, is going to run. Out of bounds to 49. Reasons close to him.
The ball carrier.
Here's Lawrence Taylor. They got out there on that side. He's a guy that is always going to be quoted and quotable. Came out this week in the Sports Illustrated thing, and everyone was talking to him about that story, no stories. But when it gets down to football, that doesn't affect his play. And I mean, he comes out and he's ready to go every Sunday. And this is a rookie here going against him, Stan Thomas, who we're talking to yesterday. He knows he's going to have his hands full.
And he's a big rookie. 300 plus. Timeout called by Harbaugh. Didn't have an alignment he liked, so he's coming over to discuss Chicago, and that's just about the score you would expect. 0-0. Second quarter, 9:03 remaining before halftime. That's about something you'd expect in a game like this too, wouldn't you?
Yeah, especially when it's on that guy's pants, because he plays in the middle, and that's where all the action is. You know, the Giants like to run. If they're going to run, they're going to run in the middle. And if you're going to run in the middle, you're going to run into the fridge in there somewhere.
That's the guy you better account for in some way. Gentry in motion. Harbaugh on 3rd down and 6. He'll have the first. Out of bounds at about the Giant 36. 15-yard ramble.
I'll tell you, the rookie Stan Thomas did a good job on Leonard Marshall. Marshall was coming up the field. Watch him right here. Here's Thomas. Here's Marshall. Now watch as he comes out the field. Thomas just stays with him, see, and right there, he just stays with him right there. Now that allows Harbaugh to get through. If Thomas doesn't stay with Marshall, Harbaugh is tackled on the line of scrimmage because Marshall never really rushed up the field. The big guys are starting to get tired down there in the field now, Pat. It's real hot.
There's a little bit of a breeze, and that helps, but it's still hot. 1st and 10 Bears. Harbaugh on 1st down to throw. Here comes Taylor. He shovels it underhanded to Muster. That's a confident quarterback.
You don't think Harbaugh is aware of Lawrence Taylor? I mean, Taylor comes around that corner. Watch him. He comes around there like he's shot out of a gun. Harbaugh knows it so well that he throws the ball under him. He said, I'm going to get rid of this thing. And there's Brad Muster right in front of him. I think the happiest guy that Brad Muster was back was Jim Harbaugh. It's because he's such a good receiver and a big target for you.
They split out Anderson to the right and leave Muster behind Harbaugh. Second down at 4. It's Muster. Not much. Stacked up by Banks and the rest of the middle. 1 yard.
You know, the one thing is, as you said, this is the type of game we expected, 0-0. But the Giant defense is really doing a job on the Bears running game. The Bears haven't been able to get anything running. I think they have like 11 or 12 yards is all so far, and Neil Anderson hasn't been a factor.
Well, you remember in that playoff game last year when they beat them 31-3, they got, what, 27 yards on 16 carries or something like that?
It was like that, and Neil Anderson wasn't a factor in that game either, and Neil Anderson is too good a football player not to be a factor before it's all over.
Harbaugh keeps Anderson in the block, throws behind Muster. That's his first incompletion of the day.
That had to be one where miscommunication, and again, Brad Muster has been out the first 2 weeks, so you can see that he's running one pattern. He started out to run a flat pattern is what it was. Harbaugh threw the flat, and Muster made it a flat and up.
So on 4th down, the ball at the Giants 29, Kevin Butler will attempt a field goal with Harbaugh holding. And Butler likes that. 47 yards away against a little bit of a wind. That's certainly going to get there. And it's good.
Did you see that thing hook in there?
Yeah.
It started out and hooked right in.
That looked like Nolan Ryan kicked it.
See that was part hook and part wind. Look at those flags blowing from right to left. Now watch the effect that has on the ball. Kevin Butler is on the hash mark, so if he kicks it straight, it's going to hit the pole. He starts it outside the pole, and then look what the wind does to it. Brings it right in the middle.
And the Bears lead 3-0. Megan from the 5. Cut down at the 20 with a flag on the play. Ron Cox. Mike Ditka said we'd see a lot of him today.
Yeah, especially on, again, that run defense. We're seeing more of Dante Jones there. But we sure saw Ron Cox run down that field on that kickoff thing like a madman.
Penalties against the Giants. 6:45 left before halftime. 3-0 Bears.
I used to always say that
on the return, number 81 will penalize half the distance. First down.
I used to always say that special teams breeds fanaticism. And the way Cox came down on that, he was a fanatic.
49ers and Vikings tied. 1st and 10. Otis Anderson, the lone setback. Hostetler over the head of Ingram. And for an NFL update, let's send you back to New York for our studios and Greg Gumbel.
Well, Pat, you saw the 14-0 Redskin lead over Phoenix in Washington. Watch Ricky Sanders on the reverse, and that's quarterback Mark Rippon leading the way, throwing the block at the goal line. 10 yards, touchdown. Redskins lead it by 2 touchdowns over the Cardinals. Back to Soldier Field and you, Pat.
Ray Handley watching his team being shut out of here in the first half. The Bears lead 3-0. Hostetler to throw it. Chased by McMichael. Pass complete to Howard. Cross. First down, Giants at about the 30.
Right there is what I think the Giants have to do more of. I think that's what they got away from. Hostetler doesn't have to run with the ball, but he has to run and bootleg. And I think this is what he does the best. The bootleg is Both backs go to the left. You fake to them, then you roll out or bootleg out here to the right. Now look what it does to the pass rush. It gets him out here, buys him time. He can see. He has two receivers there, and he throws better that way than any other way. That's the best thing Jeff Hostetler does.
1st and 10. Giants at their own 31. Pitches back to Meggett. Maurice Douglas forced it. Ron Rivera made the stop.
But you know what the Bear defense was doing, Pat? They were loading up on that first down. You know, when we would see Cox in there and we'd see Dante Jones, they were playing just 3 defensive backs. So they were playing 4 linemen, 4 linebackers, and 3 defensive backs. That's a college defense playing that on first down.
Second down. Hostetler quickly out to Hampton. Hampton very close to a first. Stopped by Roper again. It is a first down.
Well, you see what that bootleg did? I really think that bootleg pass, I think, really opened everything up for him, because they were running on first down so much that the Bears were doing it. Now I think they got a bootleg on first down, because here's that defense I was talking about. Cox and Roper are in there with just 3 defensive backs. So they're playing the old college 4-4, playing 4 linebackers against them.
Hampton again. Picked up a couple by Ron Cox, Trace Armstrong.
See, now that's why I think they have to run and pass on first down, because the Bears, you see now there goes Jones and Cox out. They come in on first down, play first down, run hard, make it 2nd and long and 3rd and long, and then play the pass.
Meggett checks into the huddle. 2nd down and about 7.
If I knew anything about chess, I'd say it's like a chess game.
I thought you did.
No, I don't know anything about any of that stuff.
That's Meggett in motion. Blitz coming, and they pick it up pretty well. Pass complete to Baker, short of a first down by a couple. Mangum made the stop.
You know, in the pregame show, we talked about Jumbo Elliott and Richard Dent. I would have to say again that Jumbo Elliott is winning this battle. I think that he has done a good job of keeping Dent out of there. Dent looks like the heat is starting to get to him. And Jumbo Elliott is one of those guys that just days after you and dogs you, and he has done a good job thus far of pass protection against Richard Dent. He has won the first half battle.
3rd and 2. Hostetler gets it to Hampton. That's going to be close. Dante Jones hit Hampton just as he caught it. 3-yard pickup. That should be enough to move the sticks.
Yep, they did. And again, you'll see, here's when it's tough to block a Richard Dent. On a 3rd down, passing down, Jumbo Elliott does a good job. He uses his hand, stabs him with the left, stabs him with the right, gives Dent no place to go, so Dent just stops. That is perfect pass protection. Richard Dent is tired.
1st and 10 at the Bear 46. 2:15 left to play in the first half. Hostetler just dumps it out to Anderson this time. And Anderson moves it far enough for another first down before he's stopped by Dante Jones and Mangum. Now we'll get the 2-minute warning. 13-yard game. The Bears still lead 3-0, but the Giants on the move.
First down defense the Bears are using. Look, here's the 4 defensive linemen. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4 linebackers. So it's the old college 4-4, playing it on first down against the run. Now this is what it looks like. See, you get 8 up here playing against a run. Then you only have 3 deep. Now on that last first down, the Giants did what they had to. Instead of running into the teeth of it, they passed and they picked up a big play. That's what you have to do. You have to mix up, and that's why you have to pass some on first down.
You figured it out, and it looks like they figured it out. On first down. William Perry made Hostetler disappear.
I'll tell you, that has to shake some stuff out when William Perry sacks you and then falls on you. I'll tell you, heat is playing a part of this game, Pat. It's only 90 degrees down there or whatever, but with the humidity, it is really hot, and especially for those big linemen. I think maybe even especially for the Bears because they're wearing the dark-colored jerseys.
Giants have run 30 offensive plays, so that defense has been out there a long time for the Bears. 2nd and 15. Anderson the lone setback. Hostetler to Baker. Baker to about the 25. Stopped by Morrissey this time.
Jumbo Elliott really has Richard Dent now frustrated. He has him tired and frustrated. Here he tries to have a spin. Elliott just stays with him. Boom, give him nothing at all.
1:16 left to play. First half, 3-0 Bears.
Game, you know that has to excite Terry Bradshaw. In fact, I think Kelly grew up and Terry Bradshaw was his idol.
Set his sights high. Hostetler out of the pocket, chased by McMichael. Incomplete. Into the hands of Baker and out. Somebody had an arm on McMichael. I mean, they almost took him to the ground from behind.
But I'll tell you, the Giants are looking more now offensively. I know Stephen Baker dropped that one. He's not going to drop a lot of them, but the Giants, with their mixture with Hostetler, bootleg, and rolling out, are looking more like they did last year than like they did last week.
Matt Barr, 5 out of 6, and there have been some big ones from 43 yards away. A couple of big ones last year also. No good. Wide right. I think the wind had an effect on that one.
You know, and at least Kevin Butler knows the wind. He's played his whole career here. Matt Barr's been in the league a long time, but you have to know the wind. Well, you know, I mean, being an old kicker, you know how you know the wind and you play the wind. Butler did it perfectly. Barr didn't.
Well, you always need an excuse.
I know it. I think Butler was sitting there and thinking, well, I feel sorry for other kickers that have to come in here. You know, it's funny, though, that was a great drive by the Giants, and it started on their own 10, drove the ball all the way down there. They didn't get any points for it, but it was a heck of a drive. It's funny, when you have successful plays, you don't make excuses about bad field position.
1st and 10 Bears, their own 25, 1:05 left to play first quarter. Harbaugh got a man, Wendell Davis, and Davis could go. Touchdown Bears, and no flags anywhere. 75 yards.
He's going against the Giants' best defender. There's a bootleg by the Bears. Davis is running against 25, Mark Collins. He gets a couple of steps on him, and Harbaugh makes the perfect throw.
Butler for the extra point. Harbaugh is 7 out of 8. Now after he threw it, he's got to hold it for Butler.
Watch this. Here's Mark Collins. Here's Wendell Davis. Now we're going to see another bootleg. Backs go this way. Harbaugh is going to come out. Boom, he just comes up and gets a step on him. You see Mark Collins looking into the backfield. Backs off a little. Now watch, Wendell Davis is going to catch up with him. He just sprints, then he catches up, then he gets even, and then he sprints beyond him. A defensive back should never let that happen to him. He had a good cushion, but he let Wendell Davis shorten the cushion. He let him get even, and then he let him get beyond.
When he started looking back at Harbaugh is when Davis got even with him. That's one thing you don't do either.
Now that's the thing. You know, he started looking back, then he started playing off, and I think he felt comfortable with his cushion. And Harbaugh, again, from a bootleg, made a heck of a throw. He's made some great throws this first half. That was one. And remember the one to James Thornton that he fumbled was another great throw.
And the underhanded one.
Yeah. And Lawrence Taylor was breathing down his neck.
Richard Dent's got some time on the sideline, so now he can cheer.
Well, the thing is, the Giants have had the ball all the time. The Bear defense has been out there a long time, but the one statistic that counts, the Bears are ahead 10-0.
Giants have had the ball almost 20 minutes of this half. The Bears 9:07. 55 seconds left.
That's why when it's all over and done, there's only one stat that counts. Who won?
Butler. Gonna be made it. At the goal line. Fumble, and the Bears have it. Let's see what happened.
Tell you, Megan is coming through here. He's going to break through. And you see right there, he gets a heck of a hit. And it looked like the helmet went right on the ball. It was Mark Carrier, the second-year free safety and also special teams player.
Glenn Kozlowski made the recovery, and here comes Harbaugh back. 48 seconds left, first half.
And they're helping Mark Carrier off the field. I guess that's Rouse they're helping off the field. But Carrier's a little guy. You know, there's not a heck of a lot to him, but one thing he's always been is a big hitter, and he put a big hit on there.
Anderson split wide right. Harbaugh starts him in motion. Going for more. Got Anderson. Oh, he had a touchdown. He had to turn around.
Now, you talking about turning around, Neil Anderson really had Pepper Johnson turned around. That's what you look for. You know, they always say get a back, especially a back like Neil Anderson on a linebacker. They got it. They had Neil Anderson on Pepper Johnson. Earl Pepper got turned around, and Harbaugh just didn't make the throw.
2nd and 10 at the Giant 23. In the pocket this time. Gets it to Muster. Muster whirls down to about the 13. Stopped by Banks. A gain of 10. Harbaugh calls timeout. Bears have one left after this one.
You know, I think that Harbaugh got confidence in the first 2 games, and then he got confidence in this game by getting Brad Muster back. There's Peter Tom Willis. He's the only backup. The Bears are one of 7 teams in the league that only carry 2 quarterbacks. Look at Ditka. He's getting involved now. They say that Greg Landry calls the plays, but I think when it gets down to here, Mike Ditka has a pretty strong say.
He's the real judge. When it comes to decision time, he's the one who makes it.
Well, I think what they have to think of here, Pat, is it's 3rd down and real short. The Bears have one more timeout. Do you go for the end zone or do you pick up the first down? I would try and pick up the first down. I would run a play to get a first down, then go for the touchdown.
Third and short. Anderson is the deep back. Fake to Anderson. Outside Muster. Enough for the first down. Harbaugh says hurry up. Everson Walls up to make the stop. They got 4 yards. They don't want to call that timeout yet. They want to run another play.
I think they probably want to run 2 more plays. Stop it here,
right,
and then run another play before they kick the field goal. Harbaugh started to come up. They told him to stay there. Cap Bozo is going to bring the play into him. I think that's what they try to do. Get a first down, stop the clock without using a timeout. Now take one shot at the end zone. Now with just second down, you don't have to force anything. If you don't make it, then kick the field goal.
I think Harbaugh thought he had a timeout call instead of just stopping the clock.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, in the heat of battle, you know, you go a little fuzzy.
Second and goal from the 10, Harbaugh. Off and running. And hit down at about the 1-yard line by Myron Guyton.
Now this is a tough decision, Pat, for Mike Ditka. This is a tough one. They used their last timeout. There's only 9 seconds to go, but you're on the 1-yard line. Now, you have to think of a couple of things. One, this is the best part of the Giant defense. If you run a play, you may not get a chance to kick a field goal. I think you can pass and kick a field goal. If you run, you may not get another shot.
It's third down. That really doesn't matter from here.
I know one play Mike Ditka likes in this situation is that quarterback bootleg.
Well, it's been good to him.
Yeah, I know it, and he ran it once here already.
It's
Whatever
a
the
big
play
decision.
I think it has to be, even though you're down there on the 1.5-yard line, I think it has to be a pass.
A rollout, even if it's incomplete, he can stop the clock and throw it away. Third and goal from the 1.
Number 75.
They have an extra lineman at tight end, Ryan. Harbaugh. Incomplete. Intended for Thornton. Myron Guyton. Good coverage.
I think that was a good call, though. I think he did exactly what he had to do, Mike Ditka there. I think you do that. I think that way you have a two-way go. You take your shot at the touchdown with the pass. If you don't make it, you kick the field goal. I think both of those decisions are exactly what you have to do.
5 seconds left to play in the first half. Evan Butler has hit from 46, this one from 20. Butler's good. And the Bears take advantage of that Giant fumble, get a field goal, and they lead 13-0 at the half.
Well, Renee.
The Giants, Pat, he was the first guy down there, and you know, he had a thigh contusion earlier, I guess, and we didn't see him on a punt coverage, but he was on that kickoff coverage.
Renee Thompson, perhaps the best on special teams, as John Madden said earlier, in the NFL. First and 10. Bears have it at their own 30. They lead 13-0. On first down, Harbaugh out to Mustard. Flags come flying from everywhere. Myron Guyton up on Mustard.
And then everywhere is usually in the area of offensive holding. It'll go 10 yards against the Bears.
Holding against the Bears.
Holding, offense, number 60, 10-yard penalty, repeat the down, first down.
That's a rookie, Stan Thomas, and we watched him earlier. He's over here, and he has the job where he has to block Marshall or Taylor. That time it was Marshall just taking an inside rush on him, and he must have tackled him before he got to Harbaugh.
First and 20. Bears backed up to their own 21. Harbaugh on a draw play to Anderson. And the ball's loose. First down, Giants.
You know, when you say what do the Giants have to do at halftime, what do they have to do? That is probably it. They have to get a turnover. They have to get the ball back. They have to get the ball back in good field position. And on one play, as Gary Reasons hits them, on one play, all those things happen.
Reasons on the tackle. Mark Collins made the recovery.
Now that is a picture-perfect tackle. I mean, Gary Reasons had his helmet in there, his shoulders square, his knees bent, his feet no wider than shoulder width. He did everything perfect on that play.
Turnovers are even at 2. Giant first down at the Bear 23. Megan's going to throw it. And almost threw it in the leg.
Well, that's what you always teach a running back, because he's not used to throwing it, that if the guy's not extremely wide open, just throw it away. Mark Carrier that time, the free safety, read that play perfectly. He wasn't fooled. He was all the way. He had perfect coverage, so he just threw that one away. Sometimes you have that play like on the 20-yard line, and you wait, and you really think you're going to get Odessa turned in there, sneak a big admin, and it doesn't work. Then you're second and long, it kills you.
Back to throw it is Hostetler. Gets it out to Meggett, who's hit immediately by John Mangum. Well, they said they weren't too worried about Mangum, although he's not a big guy, not extremely fast, but he knows what to do.
Yeah, but he's a strong guy. You see those arms? He just doesn't have little strings hanging off those shoulders. I mean, he's a strong guy. I mean, he's a little potty, but a real strong guy. He has good reactions, good quickness, and he can play this game. I mean, he's been a nickel back and a dime back, so he's been playing, even though he's a second-year guy. They thought that, they'll go to work on him as a starter, but I haven't seen him do it yet.
Third down at the 20. They need 7 for a first. Hostetler chased by Armstrong. Gets it out to Meggett. Will not be a first down. Morrissey led the Bear defense with Carrier.
I'll tell you, that Bear defense, especially that secondary, that group right there we see coming up, those guys are fired up. Douglas, Carrier. Carrier's made some big plays today,
really?
Number 20. He's been all over the field. And they are excited.
Barr to attempt a field goal. He missed from 43. This one's from 35.
I bet he plays the win this time.
Hit the upright and bounced in good from 35 yards away, and the Giants get on the board. It's 13-3. Have discovered a new workhorse back in Robert Del Pino. Last year they were the first team to knock the 49ers from the ranks of the unbeaten. So it's the Rams and 49ers next Sunday here on CBS.
Del Pino was really something last week against the Giants, and even with Montana out in the 49ers, they still have to get the ball to Jerry Rice, and they can be an explosive offensive team.
They're having a tough time today with the Vikings.
I tell you, these kickers are really kicking the ball. That's been one of the things about Barr. They said he's a good field goal kicker, but doesn't really get a lot on his kickoffs. They've said that about Butler, but there must be something here in this air. Maybe it's humidity that makes a kickoff travel far, because both of these guys have been putting the ball in the end zone today.
Maybe it's that ball, the new ball with the gold on it.
Well, yeah, they got the more colorful ball. They got the shield. They got the NFL shield, which is new. The players wear it on the yoke. They wear a shield on the yoke, a shield in their pants, and a shield in the helmet to let everyone know that they're in the NFL.
First down. 10 at the 20. To Mustard. Lucky to hang on.
I was just saying that that the Bears are really a well-coached team, and I think the first half, if you look what they did, how they spread it out, under 10 yards, 6 to 9. Now they usually do that, 6 out of 9, but 10 to 19, 1 out of 1, 20 to 29. Throwing the ball up the field, 1 out of 2, and then 40 yards, that big one that they got the big touchdown over Mark Collins, 1 for 1. So they're not just throwing the short passes.
2nd and 7. Anderson in motion. Flags everywhere. Thomas trying to get ready for Taylor.
Thomas better watch out. He's going crazy, and you better leave those officials. Someone grabbed him and said, hey, Get away from there. That's his third penalty today, but he's going up against Leonard Marshall and Taylor.
Prior to the snap, offense number 60, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
He's saying that he didn't do it, but this is a tough thing here because you got this guy here and you got a guy here, and you're worried about that pass rush. And you don't know if they're going to stunt. You have to be able to pick up the stunt. You have to be able to slide. You see, he was sliding to the outside to get Taylor, so he just got a jump on it. That's probably the toughest pass protection you have to do, is block Lawrence Taylor when he's that wide on you.
When you have to go out and meet him like that. You get him 2 lanes. Harbaugh on the draw play to Mustard. Taylor and Fox.
And if you try and run inside and don't block him, he's going to come in and make that play. That was vintage Lawrence Taylor. You see what happens is if you're going to run inside, you still have to block Taylor. You see him here. Now this time they don't block Taylor because they're going to go inside, but he can still run down and catch you from behind. See, he's still capable of making that play. When he first came into the league, they wouldn't block him on those plays. Then they started blocking him on every play. Now, as he's later in his career, they're starting to get away from blocking him when they run away from him.
Well, they say he's not what he was, but I can't see any big drop-off. Third down. Picked off by Collins. Collins to the 20. Third turnover.
And I think you have to give the rush on that time to Marshall and Taylor because they made Harbaugh throw it when he didn't want to. Collins gets the interception, which was a heck of a play, but boy, did they get a nice rush from that left side. See Collins, he's out here on the left-hand side of the screen playing zone. He lets his guy go. See, it wasn't man-to-man, it was zone. Harbaugh read it as zone. But watch the rush from the right defensive side, the top of the screen. Marshall outside, Taylor inside, and they didn't let Harbaugh step up and follow through.
Hampton, the lone setback. First and 10 Giants at the Bear 20. This is Hampton. To about the 16, stopped by Dent.
Those are the things that Mike Ditka, he can't even get that spit out of there. There's so much humidity in the air. But the thing is, see, Harbaugh read man-to-man, and the Giants camouflaged it, and Collins was playing zone. So he thought he was going to run with the deep guy, and he pulled off in his zone. Very smart player, Mark Collins.
10:35 left third quarter. Meggett. One of the backs. The other's Anderson. No, it's Hampton. Flag on the play. Hampton to about the 10. But a penalty down.
This is what they're trying to do. They got Meggett and Hampton in there and try and run with that package, so they just can't scheme that when those two guys are in there, it's going to be pass.
Offside against the Bears.
Offside against the Bears. So the play will stand. Giants down to the 10.
Defense number 95. Penalty is declined. First down.
And there's 95, Richard Dent, right there. And it was really more than him. They just gave it to 95. But if you watch, see, the snap count got him. He really gave him a hard count, and they jumped on the hard count.
Hampton, 2 of the 4. Good blocking up front. Mike Singletary made the stop, but Hampton got 6.
I think probably the best news for the Giants is that Hampton's shoulder is holding up. He has an injured right shoulder, and that's what they were worried about. You know, will that shoulder hold up to the hits? There's not a lot of holes in that middle. When you see McMichael there, Singletary there, you see the fridge there, you're not going to find a lot of holes in there. How Hampton did, I have no idea.
Hampton has 7 carries for 34 yards. Second and goal at the 4. There's Hampton again. Trace Armstrong made the stop, but Hampton gets a couple more.
This is a big down. The Giants now, they bring in Cratch. Cratch goes to guard. Roberts becomes a tight end. This is their goal line offense. O.J. Anderson, of course, comes in. You see Roberts' report say that he is an ineligible number, playing an eligible position. But I don't know. This is 2 yards. This is a long 2 yards. I don't think they can get this in by running it. I think this has to be some kind of play pass.
3rd and goal. Anderson, not there.
Yep, you're not going to run in 2 yards against that Bear defense. Maybe Ray Hanley was thinking that he's going to use 2 downs and go for it on 4th.
They're at about the 1. He might have gotten, what, a half yard?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough. I mean, a 3rd down and 2 is really long yardage. And I think Ray Hanley had to be thinking, what the heck, I'm going to go for it in 2 plays rather than 1.
Well, he's got a quarterback who can run. He's got Anderson and Carthon behind him. Anderson. I don't think he made it. They signaled touchdown. The Giant players did.
Yeah, but the officials didn't.
Morrissey made the hit on Anderson.
Recently, these people walked out of Little Caesars with extra pepperoni and cheese without paying for it.
3rd quarter. Bears 13, Giants 3. Bears backed up to their own half-yard line.
Say, that was great goal line defense. Here's Donnie Jones. He's going to make the play. He starts here. He's going to come in around the corner, and he's going to be unblocked. You see the motion goes. Here comes Dante Jones. He gets penetration, and what he does is right here, you watch this, he gets O.J. Anderson just before he jumps. He goes to jump. Dante Jones catches him in the middle of the jump.
1st and 10 Bears. Anderson to the 5. Everson Walls made the stop.
I'll tell you now, after Dante Jones came in there and stopped him, then the other guy is Ryan. Watch him. You see, Jones comes in there. Jones makes a tackle right there. Now, O.J.'s still going to try and make one more lurch, but watch 96 right there. Ryan, he comes in, and just that little shoulder stopped Anderson from getting across the plane of the goal line.
2nd and 5. Bears at their own 5. Anderson setback. Thrown for a loss by Leonard Marshall. And Perry Williams. Walls, by the way, has moved back into safety position, and Perry Williams has moved to the cornerback spot.
I was surprised that the Giants down there, you know, maybe going for it on 2 downs, decided that, well, heck, we'll go for it on 2 downs, try and run it in, play good defense, get the ball back in field position. But maybe the other way, if you would have thrown a, you know, a rollout or a bootleg pass, then you would have, you know, a couple of shots at it.
Harbaugh and the Bears start from the 4-yard line. To Waddle. And a Bear 1st down. 14-yard gain. That's a big one.
Waddle was the guy in the last cut. The Bears waived Waddle. Then they bring him back, and now in the 3rd game of the season, he's starting. In the 1st game of the season against the Vikings, he makes a big play for a touchdown. As Ditka says, he said, this guy just opens and catches a ball. But watch the timing on it. 1, 2, 3, boom, get rid of that ball, and Waddle has to be in the exact hole of the zone defense.
Might be stung a little bit. Kozlowski takes his place. And off Anderson. Not much there. Leonard Marshall again on the tackle. A gain of 2 for Neil Anderson. They've held him in check.
They have, and the Bears have done 2 things they've had to do on offense. One, get the ball out to the 5-yard line so your punter has 15 yards if you have to punt. The second goal, get it out to the 20. Now they've passed both of those goals. Now your next goal is get it to midfield.
2nd and 7. The Bears lead 13-3. Just over 5 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. Here's Harbaugh. Down by Marshall. He beat a double team.
Not only did he beat it, he just split it in 2. Watch this. Here's Marshall 70. He starts outside. Then he just runs right through and over Anderson and Thomas and just pushes him right back into Harbaugh. Harbaugh should have felt that, though. And part of that is the blocker's fault. Part of it is Harbaugh's fault. Part of it is Marshall's fault because he makes a great play. But when Harbaugh feels that push coming up there from his left, he has to move to the right rather than moving right into the push.
First sack by the Giants. A loss of 13, 3rd and 20.
And that will change field position.
Harbaugh, timeout. Here in Chicago, the Bears lead the Giants. 4.5 minutes left to play 3rd quarter. 3rd and 20.
That was a big play by Leonard Marshall because that put the Bears in a long yardage situation, and this isn't really their offensive forte. Like Mike Ditka says, when we get 3rd and over 6 or 7, we aren't very good offensively. And here, what are they, 3rd and 20 or something? How do you get a play for that?
There aren't many.
No, there aren't many. They'll probably just run something and hope that they get a good punt. But Marshall changed field position on that sack there.
Harbaugh's going to line up in the shotgun with Anderson back there by him. What do you think, a draw to Anderson?
I would think he'd hand it to Anderson.
Nope. As far as I can throw it. Incomplete, intended for Waddle.
Well, I'll tell you, that shirt that Ditka's wearing has done wonders for him. It's brought out, you talk about someone who used to just run it out. Let's get the ball out there. He says, the heck with it. Let's bring out the cannon and see how far we can shoot this thing. Of course, they already got one big, deep one. They didn't get anything on that one. Hey, you talk about concentration. There is 2 guys concentrating.
Collins and Waddle in the battle. Meggett back deep to the Giants. Buford off the side of his foot. A very poor punt. And the Giants will take over in that good field position you were talking about a minute ago.
And he shanked it. And if there's any place you don't want to shank it, it's coming out of there. And he shanked it.
He was the Bear tight end all the way back in 1962.
Where was that one played?
Wrigley Field.
Yeah, they didn't even play it here.
Here's Hostetler. Going to work. Tamaris Carthon. Some cracking and popping going on with that one. Marcus Paul up to make the hit.
Hey, the Bear offense is putting a lot of pressure. The Bear offense and kicking game on that play is putting a lot of pressure on this defense. But the Giants just have to get the ball in there. I mean, because if you don't, pretty soon it gets to be a mental thing, and you think you can't score a touchdown. And at some point, you have to break that thing. Then once you do it, it kind of just opens up the floodgates for you.
Well, in 2 games, they've only managed 29 points. 2nd and 2 here. Anderson this time has the first down to about the 20. Stopped by William Perry.
The tough thing is, do you work it down, 13-3 lead, 10 points, that's not a big deal, or do you try and throw one in from here? Because the closer you get to the goal line, the more difficult it is to throw.
Especially against 2 teams like this. But that Bear defense has been out there a long, long time. 1st down. 1st and 10. 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 1 fake draw, and Hostetler goes down the middle, complete to Howard Trough. Now they're saying incomplete.
That was the time to throw it, too. It didn't work, but you see Cox in there, you see Dante Jones, but they're using that 4-4 defense. See, they only have 3 defensive backs in there. Look at everyone is 8 men up in the front. If you're going to throw, this is the best defense to throw against you're ever going to get. And you get it on first down, you don't get it on second down. I think they're going to review this one because it looked like he caught that thing. Of course, you can't tell right there because his body blocks it off as he goes down.
There it is on the ground.
Yep. Good call.
But they will review.
And they'll probably see it just as you saw it. Point his knees down. Then you're going to see right between there, right by his thigh, you see the ball down there, so it was incomplete. But again, that's the time to throw it. See, you can't throw. Now on second down, you get a totally different defense. You had the 4-4 on first down. Now you get regular pro defense.
Now you get Armstrong, McMichael, Perry, and Dent. And 3 linebackers. The blitz, and they hand off to Hampton. Trace Armstrong from one side, Ron Rivera from the other.
Trace Armstrong stunted right into that thing. He was, you know, second and long. You expect to pass, and he is going to come in there and make that play. He was coming on a pass rush. Watch him. He's coming on a pass rush, and he falls right into tackling on a draw. You see, he's the outside guy right here. Now what? See, McMichael works outside. Now see him coming inside. He was stunting inside for a pass rush and ran into a draw.
3rd and 9. The Bears now have their nickel package in the game. 6 defensive backs. Hostetler out to Meggett. Meggett cut down at about the 6 by Maurice Douglas. But a gain of 13 and a first down, Giants.
I'll tell you, that's the isolation you want. You get one-on-one with Meggett running a scat pattern. He can go anywhere he wants against John Roper, number 55. That is a mismatch. See, Meggett can just run through the line, and he can run right or left. They call that scat. He can go wherever the opening is, and he went through the hole, boom, and he scattered out to the right.
And scattered away from Roper.
He was about 5 yards behind him.
1st and goal at the 6. Hampton. Touchdown, Giants.
That is the play that the New York Giants needed this year. I think it maybe even from that guy Hampton we talked about earlier. He was going to be a big part of the game plan. But the Giants even looked like they brought some fans with them.
They were all outside the hotel last night. Hampton, 10 carries, 44 yards, and that touchdown with 1:17 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Barr trying to make it 13-10. Does. 1:17 left, 3rd quarter. Bears by 4.
In the goal line, you start here. Oates comes out here. They double the fridge, get him out. They come here, double McMichael, and they just run right in that hole. Now, the guy that has to make the play is Singletary, and he doesn't. See the double team there? Boom, they get the fridge out, they get McMichael out, and right there, Singletary misses, and Hampton's in the end zone.
Oh, the lead is now 3 for the Bears, and the crowd's quiet. Mark Green. Hit down at about the 16-yard line. 15-yard return. Lamar McCriggs down to make the stop. 1:08 left, 3rd quarter. A Murder, She Wrote. Then the CBS Sunday night movie, P.S. I Love You. Harbaugh back to throw it. Through the hands of James Thornton.
Here's what went on in the sideline after the touchdown. Look at Singletary, 50. He's talking to the refrigerator there about what happened down there in the goal line. And what happened is Perry's saying he was double teamed. And Singletary said, well, he ran right at you. But they didn't. They double-teamed McMichael, the one tackle, double-teamed Fridge, the other tackle, and Singletary has to make that play.
2nd and 10. Bears trying to get out of the hold, still lead by 3. Harbaugh to James Rouse, who's buried by a fired-up Giant defense.
I think you talk about momentum. Everything has changed in the second half. The Bears had it in the first half. The Giants have it in the second half. Rouse runs in there. He goes to cut back, and you look what's waiting for him there. I think Gary Reasons didn't play well last week against the Rams, but he is making up for it today. He has made a couple of very physical plays.
They are working on... There's a new style. I haven't seen that before.
Well, that's a new way kickers wear the helmet. Only kickers wear them that way. You put a baseball cap in your head and your helmet in your pants.
Well, you have to have just a single bar on your helmet to wear it like that.
That's why only kickers do it.
Harbaugh down. Eric Howard.
Eric Howard, again, you know, we talked about reasons to play before. Howard was another guy who has a bad back, really didn't play well last week, but he gets a little something there. You see, if you rush from the outside, here comes Taylor from the left, Marshall from the right, you make them step up. Then you need a push in the middle, so when he steps up, there's Howard. That was a pretty rush. Marshall coming from the right, Taylor coming from the left, Harbaugh stepped out, and there was a nose tackle, Eric Howard.
The Giants and the Bears at Soldier Field, Chicago. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Timeout, New York. They hope they'll be able to take advantage of the wind, which would be against the punter, Maury Buford. Danae Thompson was injured a little bit early in the first half, but has been back on special teams. Philadelphia over Dallas 17-0. The Eagles have sacked Troy Aikman in that game 9 times.
But that other one, the Vikings over the 49ers. Two teams were in the championship game a year ago, both behind in the first part or then 3/4 of today's game.
Buford back at about the 1. Meggett back deep for the Giants. They have to let it bounce. The Bears scrambling to down it. I think maybe the Giants touched it.
Well, if the Giants touched it, it's a Bears ball.
Should be.
See, the Giant, if the ball's going to hit, you have to get away from it. I think the officials are saying that it didn't hit a Giant.
Ball is ruled down by the Bears.
Came close to Everson Walls, I think.
See, the ball is, if it doesn't hit one of the Giant players, I don't see it touch anyone. It came close to a couple of feet, but it didn't touch any.
The ball was not touched, and the receiver was not touched by the ball. First down, New York.
In fact, that's what you're supposed to do when the ball hits. If you're on the receiving team and you're not going to return it, you're supposed to run away from it.
One more play, 1 second left, third quarter. 1st and 10 Giants at the Bear 42. They've really controlled this half. It's Hampton to the 40, stopped by Singletary and Perry. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Bears 13, the Giants 10. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is CBS.
Great deals are waiting. Great deals on Subarus. Great deals on Mazdas. Great deals on GMCs. Great deals on O's. Great deals are waiting for you at Tom Scott Motors in Nampa. Drive off in a great deal today before they disappear.
Save your money. Don't buy seldom used items. Rent them. You can complete household chores with Tate's quality inventory. And save your money for something else. Get those projects done using Tate's clean equipment. And save your cash for a better time.
Tate's Rents.
Wayne DeZubak, Eyewitness News.
Just about ready to start the fourth quarter with the Bears up by 3, 13-10. They got the points in the first half, and the third quarter has belonged to the Giants. 13 first downs for the Giants, 6 for the Bears. Bears will have the wind in this quarter. Hostetler fakes to Hampton. On the run to Megan. First down at about the 27. Stopped by Rivera.
You know, you look at the Giants now, and this is what I said, they look like they did last year, doing stuff like this, getting Megan out there, getting them on first down, running bootlegs. That was a bootleg pass. You see all the time that a bootleg buys you. Megan could come down, he could move right, move left, find a hole. Hostetler got outside the pass rush and had plenty of time.
First down. Handoff to Hampton to inside the 20. Stopped by Ron Cox, but he got 6.
Yeah, Richard Denton had been over there on Elliott all day. This time he lined up on the side of the two tight ends. He lines up on the right side now, thinking that they're going to run at the power, and he's going to be in there to stop it. So they run inside and then cut back to that weak side.
2nd and 4. Stopped by Dante Jones this time.
Hey, Dante Jones has kind of been all over the field for this Bear defense today, and especially being a non-starter. He's kind of the guy that they've been bringing in and out of here, trying to play Vince Tobin there, the defensive coordinator, trying to play that chess game, get Dante Jones in there when they're going to run, he and Cox, and then get them out when they're going to pass. They're out now.
3rd and 1. Ball's at the Bears 17. Carthon is flanked to the left. Hampton gets the carry. Maybe, maybe not.
I think if they don't get it here, Pat, I think they have to go for the field goal. And I don't think they got it. I think when you're on the road, it doesn't make a difference where you're on. When it's 13-10, I think you got to tie it up. That was a big defensive play.
Close enough to measure. First down.
Then you don't have to worry about it. That will let a lot of air out of you. Watch them here. They know if you're going to run inside, you have to block the Fritz. Now it's the second half. They're starting to get to him. Roberts just got enough movement on him to get that first down in there.
This is Anderson over the right side this time for 4 yards. Roper on the stop. 4 yards is about what they expect from O.J.
I think that's what Ray Hanley expects from anything. He calls it an efficiency. Whereas Vince Tobin is trying to stop that efficiency, but Ray Hanley said efficient as any run that goes over 4 yards or it gets a first down. They're about 50% in that in today's game.
2nd and 6. To Megan. Stopped by Marcus Paul, but 4 more yards.
Hey, the Giants have really come a long way since last week, and if you look at that efficiency we're talking about that is defined by 4 yards or more or a first down, they've had 30 opportunities, and 14 of them have either gotten 4 yards or more or a first down. So that's about 50%, which is about average. I mean, it's not the good side of it, but it's not bad either.
And some clouds start to move in over Wrigley Field in more ways than one. Oates wants Hostetler out of the shotgun and up close, but he doesn't come up there. Meggett will have the first down on individual strength.
Meggett carried for Giants.
And I'll tell you another improvement in the Giants this week, Pat, is the offensive line. Last week, they didn't do a good job against the Rams. In fact, the Ram front handled them. But this week, they're making holes for Meggett. They're making holes for Hampton. They have done a good job. Elliott on the left side, Roberts are doing a lot better job than they did a week before. Now, what Meggett does when he taps his helmet, he gets the call, and he tells the wide receivers what the front is. See, there's 4 wide receivers, and that tells them what they're doing in the front.
First and goal. Hampton, touchdown. Perry and Roper stopped him, but too late. Hampton's second of the day.
Hey, we were talking about the offensive line, and see, when the offensive line, watch that left side, when they win the battles, watch 76 Elliott, watch Roberts, when they win the battles, watch Riesenberg, when they win the battles, the piles go back. When they lose the battles, the piles come towards them.
Barr hits the extra point, and now it's Giants 17, the Bears 13.
9 plays, 42 yards.
Everybody's different. Different looks, different tastes, different lifestyles. That's why Geo offers you a choice. Geo Metro, Geo Storm, Geo Prism, and Geo Tracker. So pick your favorite and get to know Geo. Right around the corner at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know you.
Get zapped by circumstances beyond your control, it's good to know that MetLife works hard to pay your claim promptly. Get Met. It pays.
In making an artistic statement, one's personal aroma shouldn't do the talking. So I use Right Guard Sports Stick with maximum protection. A true artiste should be known for inspiration, not perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
This game summary is sponsored by Coors Light.
The time of possession, the Giants 32 minutes, 21 seconds. The Bears 17.5 minutes. Turnovers, 2 for New York, 3 for Chicago. Hampton, 2 touchdowns. He's done the job that they expected he would. Giants have run 58 plays. The Bears 35. Kickoff back in the end zone, and Bailey will bring it out. 2 about the 24.
Yeah, if we watch the touchdown again here, we see Mike Singletary. He misses the tackle. He has to make that tackle. The line does a good job of movement, but the free guy is Singletary. Now, when you have the free guy, he has to make the tackle. So Singletary doesn't, but it's also good running by Hampton. You see, he breaks 2 tackles right there at about the 3-yard line. So on one side, the Giants, you can say Hampton ran well. On the Bears side, you can say they missed tackles.
First and 10 Bears at their own 25. Harbaugh back to throw it. Maybe. Out to Anderson. Anderson out of bounds after a pickup of 2, maybe 3.
You know, I'm watching here, Pat. Brad Muster is limping off the field. I think he hurt himself again. He had a pulled hamstring, missed the first 2 games. And I think maybe he played the first half, and that's about all he had in him, because he tried, they brought him out, he tried to run again, he just took himself out. I don't think we're going to see much more of Brad Muster. That hamstring has to be bothering him.
They were working on him on the sideline when Rouse was in before, and now Rouse is back. 2nd and 8. Close to a first down, stopped by Pepper Johnson and Carl Banks.
I think that has to affect Harbaugh's confidence, too, not having Muster in there, but now maybe Anderson will become more of a factor the rest of the game for the Bears.
Less than 9 minutes left to play at Soldier Field, Chicago. It's the Giants 17, the Bears 13. The Bears led it 13-0 at the half.
Now, this is kind of the type of game we expect.
Yep.
When you get the Bears and the Giants, this is football. I mean, there's been hitting, there's been big plays, little plays, good defense, good special teams. This is good, solid football.
Natural turf. Here's Rouse. Rouse close to another first down. Mark Collins tripped him up, and it's a good thing he did.
Well, Rouse was a tailback. You know, he wasn't a fullback, and Ditka wanted to keep him a year ago, so he kept him and made him a fullback. But you talk about the thing. Look at the Giants have rushed for 129. The Bears only 59. And you'd think that Neil Anderson in some games has that many yards by himself in the first half.
Richard Dent, a little rest.
He's had a tough day going up against Big Jumbo Elliott all day.
About the only time we mentioned him was when he was resting. Almost picked off by Banks. Intended for Cap Bozo.
Banks knew that that play probably would have been the game winner. If he picks that one off, the game is all over. Watch him. This guy is a heck of an athlete, Carl Banks. He has a little groin pull, but he's amazing. He just runs back there. He just runs with that tight end all the way, has the thing, and it just goes right out of his hands. And he's going to get a ribbon for that one, because he's one of the guys that has good hands and does all those athletic things. And when he sees the ball bounce off him like that, he's going to say look like a nose tackle.
A heck of a basketball player. 2nd and 10. Oh, we'll throw it again if he has time. Marshall. Pass was intended for Wendell Davis. Pepper Johnson and Marshall back close by. They let it go.
Oh, we saw Carl Banks. Watch, there's Marshall at the leg. That's a tough one. Banks hits him up above, but Marshall is at the guy's feet. And what that does, it's not a sack, but it doesn't let the quarterback step forward. Now, if the leg can't come forward, then the arm can't get any speed or power on it.
3rd and 10. Taylor. Harbaugh's hit just as he lets it go, but he let it go perfectly. Got a first down to Wendell Davis. Gained 13 yards. Brown, the defender.
And again, Pepper Johnson, as you said, again, sometimes you have to step up. They blocked that left side well that time, but Pepper's coming from the right side. And I'll tell you, Harbaugh was able to step that time. See, he could step to the left, even though Pepper Johnson was going to hit him. Watch the pass protection here on the left side. They got a stun. Boom, they pick it up nicely. They let him step, even though he gets hit from the backside.
Mattis is now the left tackle for the Bears instead of Thomas. This is Anderson with some room. Neil Anderson down the sideline inside the 5. Collins knocked him out of bounds at about the 1-foot line, or about the 5 now. They put it back. 38-yard dash by Neil Anderson.
You know, he's like a time bomb. You know, it's just a matter of time. He says someplace Neil Anderson is going to come into this game. Mattis gets a block there. Thornton gets a block. Good block by the guard. The wide receiver on that side, cut back, made an excellent block. That was Tom Waddle, came back on a crackback. Watch it again here. There's Thayer, good pull. Now watch right down, right there, we're going to see the crackback by Tom Waddle. And that was a play that really gave Anderson about 20 yards more.
Anderson, they've marked it at the 5. Harbaugh again.
I don't know that they're not going to review to see where he went out. That was a, you know, we always talk about amazing athletic movements, but Neil Anderson made one at the end there.
We've seen him do that before.
Yeah, I mean, he's a heck of a player. I don't know, did he step out on the 5? If not, he doesn't come down until he hits that goal line. So the ball should either be in the 5 if he stepped out there, or it should be on the goal line.
And they're still looking. The Bears came out of the huddle, and the officials sent them back. Anderson was 6 out of 12 before that run.
See, he had the ball inside. So I think there's 2 places, either where they have it spotted, then it has to be that he stepped out there, or if not, they got to put the ball on the goal line.
Still reviewing. 6:39 left to play with the Giants leading 17-13.
Let's look at it from here and see if he steps on the line.
We have a reversal. The runner did not step out of bounds. Touchdown.
Neil Anderson came over and shook hands with the official.
That is the first. He wasn't even arguing for that one at the end. That's a real pro. They say that he didn't step out of bounds. So now the last time you see the ball breaks the plane in there while he's in the air. So it is a touchdown. I thought it had to be in the goal line, but it had to be either a touchdown or on the 5-yard line.
Butler's extra point is good, and the Bears regain the lead. With 6:39 left, they lead 20-17.
I've made up my mind. I'm going to do it. Why shouldn't I? I'm the one who has to look at myself in the mirror every morning. So before I lose another hair, I'm going to the doctor. I know doctors have treatment programs that are proven to work. More guys are trying them every day. I'm not bad now, but I wouldn't mind looking better.
Your doctor can really do something about hair loss. So see your doctor, or call this toll-free number.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. Introducing the new Fram Extra Guard. New glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. The new Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
And winds northwest 30 knots, gusting to 45 knots. Rain expected to continue till 10 p.m. 5 inches predicted in the 7-county area.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the U.S. Army, where you get an edge on life. Be all you can be. The Upjohn Company. If you're concerned about hair loss, see your doctor. And by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Soldier Field, Chicago. The Bears have just recaptured the lead. 20-17, 6:39 left to play. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Meggett back deep for the Giants with Ingram. Kevin Butler will pick it off for the Bears. Another good high kick, but Meggett will handle it at the 1. And hit down at the 20.
You know, one thing on that big touchdown run, you have to have force and support from one of these two guys. Both of them backed off. Waddle does get a block here. Taylor overplays the inside, which lets Anderson get to the outside. But one of these two guys has to be up here for force and support. Neither one of them get out. Watch. They start the motion. Perry Williams runs off like it's a pass. Waddle gets the block on the safety, and now Williams can't get back, and Anderson outruns it.
First down, Giants at their own 20. Rodney Hampton, the lone setback. Reverse to Neggett. Well played. A gain of 3. Rivera made the stop. Soldier Field, Chicago, with the skyline of Chicago in the background. Bears leading 20-17. They have been very, very tough in September. No one seems to be able to figure out why.
I think one of the reasons is that the Bears take their preseason games more seriously than some of the other NFL teams.
2nd and 7. Incomplete. Intended for Ingram and knocked away by Lemuel Stinson.
These Bear corners have played well. The Giants have tried to get the ball outside. They have Lemuel Stinson on one side. We got Mangum on the other side, and I think they've both done a good job.
Some unusual scores today.
They look like baseball sneaking in some of these scores, I think.
3rd down and 7. Hostetler puts Hampton in motion. Neggett out of the backfield. They get it to him. Neggett stays on his feet. Lost a yard or two. Stopped by Carrier.
Tell you, the cornerback, little John Mangum. We're talking about a corner. He came on a blitz, and he's the guy that made Hostetler throw it before he was ready. Number 26, little John Mangum.
5:18 left to play. Back to punt it. Bailey back deep. Fair catch signal, and Bailey makes the catch at the 30. 5:08 left to play. Bears 20, Giants 17.
Working to be the best they can be. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. The Cowboys' return as contenders is built with developing stars. Troy Aikman arrived in '89 and in 2 seasons has become the best young quarterback in the game. In 1990, Aikman was joined by Emmitt Smith, who made the Pro Bowl in his first professional season. As individuals, Smith and Aikman are key elements in the Dallas resurgence. Together as teammates, they make the Cowboys the best they can be.
I can't tell you how it feels when you're way out there on your own tracking the bad guys. How it feels leading a skilled team that's the eyes and ears of the whole outfit. When all your training is coming alive. But finding those tanks and telling the air cavalry right where to hit them, I can tell you exactly how that feels.
This neighborhood produces most of our Olympic team stars. It's where you'll find the Emerson Flag Company. They send thousands of flags to the Olympic Games, and for rush orders, they use express mail from the Postal Service. It offers convenient pickup service, guaranteed overnight delivery, plus great low prices, which could help a small company like this have a banner year.
We deliver for you.
Major League Baseball on CBS continues Saturday as the Oakland Athletics, in the unfamiliar role of spoiler, host the American League East leading Toronto Blue Jays. All gets underway at 2:30 Eastern with Baseball 91. Saturday on CBS. Oakland leading Toronto today in the top of the 6-5-3. Detroit, Milwaukee, 1 apiece. That's the way it stands. Boston in second place, 4.5 back. The Tigers 5.5 back. And time running out. Time's also running out at Soldier Field. 5:08 left to play. Bears 20, Giants 17. Bear ball their own 30. Anderson, the ball carrier, picked up 3 yards.
Here we'll look back at that third down play. Now watch, here's little John Mangum. He's the corner. He looks like he's going to cover this guy, but no, he blitzes. Now Megan's come through. He goes right by him, and Megan is the guy who forces Hostetler to throw it when he doesn't want to. Watch, you see Megan runs right by Mangum. Mangum is right there. Hostetler has to throw it now or take the sack. He throws it short. They make the play.
Second and 7, clock running. Anderson in motion. Harbaugh back to throw. Incomplete. Right now for an NFL update, let's send you back to our New York studios and Greg Gumbel.
Well, Pat, at Minnesota, second time today, this combo is hooked up. Steve Young to Jerry Rice, this time for 21 yards, and just over 3 minutes remain now at the Metrodome. The 49ers have pulled to within 3 of the Vikings at 17-14. Scores and highlights on the postgame show coming up. Pat?
Here at Soldier Field, a 3-point difference as well as the Bears lead the Giants 20-17.
That Bear defense is on the sideline just hoping that the Bear offense can get a couple of first downs.
3rd and 7, they're back in the shotgun. Safety blitz. A cornerback blitz. Waddle made the catch short of a first down by about a yard. Myron Guyton made the hit that knocked him backwards.
That is good tackling. You know, I mean, you can say that the receiver should have gotten the first down. He was right on the line, but Guyton makes that tackle that makes that play. Because if he gets another yard, that's a first down. If they don't, now the Bears are forced to punt.
3:45 left on the clock. It hasn't been a good kicking day for Buford. Now he's got the wind, however. Meggett back deep, standing at about the 12. And this is a good one. Chases Meggett all the way back to the 7. The Bears, Kozlowski right in his face.
That's why Glenn Kozlowski is on this team. That's why Mike Ditka loves this guy, because when you need a play, you don't know what it is. It may be a special teams play. He'll come up with it.
54-yard punt.
You know, getting down there is one thing. He gets by walls. Now, they say he doesn't have speed, but he outruns 2 guys. But getting down is one thing. Then breaking down is another. And then the third thing, and the biggest thing, is making an open field tackle like that.
The Giants 90 yards away, trailing the Bears by 3. Here's Hostetler back in the pocket. Outside Ingram, knocked out of bounds. They gain 6.
Yeah, a couple things loom big now. You think of the 4th down play when the Giants were down there. Had they kicked a field goal, the score would be tied now. But the Bears held them there. And things like that, if you win, you don't even think about. But at the end of the game, you start thinking, what if this would happen? What if that would happen? And when it scores 20-17, there's a lot of what ifs.
And you think about the what ifs for a couple of days, and then you start to get ready for next week. 2nd and 3. Hostetler back to throw with people in his face. Complete the cross. Will have more than enough for a first down out to about the 40. Stopped by Marcus Paul.
A big pass by Hostetler there. I think, again, I think the one dominant part of this Giant offense has been the offensive line today. They have really kept those pass rushers off of Hostetler pretty much. And I think the mixture of staying in the pocket and the mixture of the bootlegs have been very good for the Giants and may yet be in this game.
First down at the 40. Hostetler will throw it again. Incomplete, intended for Ingram.
Now watch the pass protection of the entire offensive line. You know, when you get in the fourth quarter and you've won a battle, this is what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, you guys just aren't getting there. Your quarterback has what we call clean feet. You have dominated that line of scrimmage, and I think the Giants' offensive line has done that.
2:37 left to play. 2nd and 10. Giants from their own 40. Stetler has time again and gets it to Hampton. Hampton into Bear territory. Stopped and knocked out of bounds by Roper. A gain of 13.
Hey, with Rodney Hampton healthy, it really is a big dimension for this Giant offense.
Didn't go out of bounds. Clock still running.
I don't think time's going to be a big thing here. I don't think the Giants care about the time because they do have 2 timeouts left. They'll get one at the 2-minute warning. Their biggest concern is that they're going into the wind, and they would have to try a field goal into the wind.
And remember what happened to Butler's field goal that was good earlier. 2 minutes to go. At Soldier Field, the Bears 20, and the Giants 17. 2 to go.
They've come for you. It's you.
2 minutes to play at Soldier. Highlights and interviews. The outstanding plays around the league today. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. This CBS telecast is intended for the private user audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of CBS, the Chicago Bears, and the National Football League is prohibited. Got to ask a lot of people this year.
Full menu. You have to go through. You want to look at a game when you're not supposed to.
Here's Hostetler with time. With a completion to Mark Ingram. Stinson again on the stop. He stayed in bounds. The clock runs.
Again, the Giants are going now with a no huddle. You see Hostetler, though, he has to wait because they're making substitutions. That's one of the problems with no huddle and the quarterback calling his own plays. He can't call the play until he gets the right package of people in there.
Clock down to 1.5 minutes now. Meggett comes in motion. Hostetler goes back to throw it. Out to Hampton. Hampton can make some people miss. Inside the 20 to about the 18, Marcus Paul.
That play right there is the dimension that we were talking about, that is a different and a new dimension for the Giants. You throw a little loop pass out there to a Hampton, and it can be a 20-yard play.
Action starts at 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL Today. The last word before kickoff, that's next Sunday on CBS. Right now, it's this Sunday. And the Giants are inside the Bear 20, trailing by 3 points. Hostetler outside to Ingram again. Knocked out of bounds. Now they say not out of bounds. They'll keep the clock running. Down to 1 minute. Mangum knocked him out of bounds.
And the Giants will want to go now. They're huddling up. They were going to go with a no huddle. Then they decided to huddle up. Remember, they still have 1 timeout left.
2nd down and 7. Ingram in motion. O.J. Anderson hurdles inside the 10, and he does get out of bounds and stops the clock with 35 seconds left.
O.J., the old 13-year veteran, he still has some life in him. He could smell that end zone, couldn't he? He caught that loop pass, which is the same pass that Rodney Hampton just caught, and he tried to do a hurdle job to get in there. You know, Eric Moore is so tired, Pat, or having so much cramp, he can't even stand up in the huddle. We've gotten down to that. If you look down there in the Giant huddle, you see him, he's having a hard time getting up to both feet. He's huddling up that way. That's the 2nd time he's huddled up that. He just goes down on both knees.
He can barely get back to the line of scrimmage.
This has been a battle for those guys in the trenches today.
Meggett goes in motion. Hostetler chased out of the pocket, throws it out of the end zone. Steve McMichael put the heat on Hostetler, who had to throw it out of the end zone. 29 seconds remain. The Giants have one timeout. The Bears lead it 20-17. We're in the fourth quarter. With 29 seconds to go, Pat Summerall with John Madden. If we have to go in overtime, some of these guys may not make it.
Most of these linemen aren't going to make it.
Second and goal from the 8. Anderson behind Hostetler. Ingram in motion. Hostetler back to throw it. Don't forget about his running ability. Hit just as he lets it go. And Anderson has to stay in bounds. Hit by Marcus Paul. And Trace Armstrong. Richard Dent was chasing Hostetler. 19 seconds to play.
And the Giants have just taken their last time out for football.
That's cramps or a bad back. There's another exhausted player and another.
I think it's just exhaustion on both sides. Look at the Bears side. They're the same way. It's to lose this one, but I don't think anyone wants to go into overtime either. Of course, if you're the Giants, you'd think now overtime would be a lot better than a loss.
There comes a guy that'll welcome a rest. William Perry. 19 seconds to go. The Giants out of timeouts.
So they have to throw the ball either into the end zone or to the sideline.
Third and goal at the 13. Carthon in motion. Elliott moved. And a flag comes down.
5-yard penalty.
Right there, that's John Elliott. Again, these guys have been playing their guts out all day, these linemen, and it's tough. They know they have to pass protect. They don't want to get the guy. He didn't move. He didn't run. He just picked up his hand. He had his left hand down, and he just picked up his left hand before the ball was snapped.
Once you put it down, you can't pick it up.
It has to stay there.
Third and goal from the 18 now with 19 seconds to go. The Bears leading 20-17.
And now I think the Giants have to throw the ball and have to throw it into the end zone.
If they have to kick and have time, it would be from 35 yards out against the wind. Here's Hostetler to the end zone. Incomplete. Fourth down. He'll have to kick it toward his right upright. Your left. Partially blocked and no good. Mangum got a hand on it. Perry with an assist. Can still dance. I blocked it. Knocked out one of his teeth. Ten seconds remain.
This is what NFL football is all about. Here's the play that kept this game out of overtime. You get Mangum coming from the outside, the push in the middle, and it was the Fridge. You see his arm up there. His right arm was the ball that blocked that kick. There is one happy coach.